kicking his guts, you wreck. And all because the body language said.
Attention all ladies, the Candyman is on the prowl. And for those that want to get busy, you got to speak up now. Get busy.
Blowing your mind like only the Candyman can. Like a heavyweight champion, knocking them out. Another bout without a doubt. Once again, you can scream and shout. When I rock the bells, yell out my name. This is what you've been missing. Listen to my heartbeat while I'm whispering. I know you're suffering. So sweet, a Candyman, sweet nothings. Hugging and tugging and rubbing. Loving it all, having a ball. All y'all girlies next to me, talking sex to me. We can't do that yet, but I bet we'll chill.
Candyman, tell them the truth.
We'll still end up knocking the boots.
I love you so, never ever ever gonna let you go. Once I get my hands on you, ooh, boy, I love you so, never ever ever gonna let you go. I hope you feel the same way too.
Good morning, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Yes Magazine, I'd like to welcome you to this great anniversary occasion. It's our 10th year of absolute incredible journalism and impact on life in Nigeria. For the past 10 years, we've been running this lecture and trying to impact in our only two ways, in a discourse on how to make Nigeria a better place. Every year, I know very sure that we used to gather at the Nigerian Institute of Journalism at Kufa Bayami, but due to what we all know, we've had to adapt in the past 1.5 years to virtual reality. So that's why we have all gathered here this morning, inviting you into this session, that no matter what the odds, the show must go on. We must keep doing what we do to impact life. Yes, we all know that things have been very, very tough. Nigeria is not exempted from the global menace of the virus, the coronavirus. Last year was indeed a battle for almost every one of us. indeed a battle, tough one. The global space was shut down, businesses started to crumble. We lost a lot of lives. Unfortunately, it didn't spare the rich or the poor. It took everyone that it could take. We've been battling with how to combat it. We've been given different options on how to stay safe. We've lost people. We have friends who are perhaps right now still battling with the virus. So we need to find a way to move forward, especially in the business environment. If we're all very aware, Nigeria is a peculiar place. And most recently, we've had a lot of challenges in the business environment, in the social environment, and then, of course, in the areas of security and the like. So running a business in Nigeria right now is a tall order. And that informs our basic theme for this year. Running a successful business in Nigeria, my experience. I have a particular experience, but I am not the focus here. My experience in the past 1 year has been very, very, very dense. As an entertainer, comedian, master of ceremony, my business is physical most times. You have to get engaged at events, at social gatherings, corporate functions. Usually as a comedian, towards the end of the year, business kind of booms. A lot of corporate brands will invite you for their launching end of year party. Usually they will call you ahead and book your date. Kofi, are you available on November 17th? Kofi, are you available December 5th? You know, that has been the norm for years. But last year, nobody was calling us. A lot of my friends, we were the ones, comedians were calling comedians. You get work, have you called your place? In fact, most of us ended up having to end the family meeting. Nobody was calling us. When it got that bad, we started calling the companies. Aren't you people doing anything this year? One company was quite nice. They were fair enough. The CEO told me point blank, said, Kofi, it's not that we don't love what you do or we don't like what you're doing. Unfortunately, see, all the years we have been inviting you as master of ceremony, we were also learning the work. Don't worry, we'll not be needing your service this year. The GM will empty for us. But the one that shocked me the most was that an oil company that I used to work for almost every year, I suddenly noticed that they were not reaching out. Couldn't even, contact them. So by some crooked means, I found the number of the CEO and I reached out to him. Good afternoon, sir. Yes, good afternoon. Who am I speaking with? Sir, this is Kofi. Kofi, the washman. I said, no, sir, Kofi, the MC, your comedian. He said, oh, Kofi, what do you do now? Sir, I'm still an entertainer. Sorry, and this CEO of an oil company, I said, sorry, Kofi, we're now into small chops. Small chops, sir. Yes, we're now into small chops. We're no longer into oil and gas. After all, it's still oil we're using to fry for pork. So business has really been bad in Nigeria. Now today we want to share experiences with people of credible and worthy words of wisdom and value with us today. Now, fortunately for us, we have a very, very amazing chairman for this occasion. I just want to run through some introductions before running through the program. The publisher is waiting for me to just, let me when you have a chairman like this, you have to let people know that this is your chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, the chairman for this 10th year anniversary lecture is the one and only former chairman, CEO, Pfizer Products PLC, and the president of Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, Mazi Sam Onwabungwa, OFR. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. He actually joined quite early, even before 10 a.m. He had been waiting in the corner, fully charged. For your information, this is going to be a 2-hour lecture program. So please get your batteries charged. I have 2 power banks on standby, and that's one of the things about Nigeria. You have to be your own government at times. You have to really want to take care of your electricity, your roads, your life, everything. And that's one of the things we're going to be highlighting today. How do we move from point A to point B? Also, today we'll be having our very special guest of honor, the Minister of State, Labor and Employment, Chief Festus Keyamo, SAN. He will be joining us as well as our special guest. But the main lecture today will be doled out by a veteran, a man who knows onions before onions became very expensive, a man of experience, a man who is a perfect role model for a lot of us young people watching him grow up. He has the finest dread in Nigeria, well-cultured dread. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the president, Association of Advertising Agencies of Nigeria, and also the CEO Extreme Ideas, Steve Babaiko, our special guest speaker and lecturer today. So on that note, I'd like to welcome us all. But before then, as instructed by the publisher himself, the one and only, my brother from Morocco, the Ichie One, the man that can never say no. Anything you ask him, it is yes. Have you eaten? Yes, even when he has not eaten. That's why he named it Yes Magazine. The one and only Aju Azrin is our chief host for the day. Thank you so much for bringing all of us together despite challenges of running things in Nigeria right now. So we'd like to open with prayers by inviting a reputable man of God, our daddy, the founder of Revival Assembly. Indeed, we need revival in Nigeria. That's why we have him here today to help us with the opening prayers. Please welcome Apostle Anselm Madubuko as he opens with prayers for us. Technical, please, let's have Apostle give us the prayers. Is the Apostle there? I can't see Apostle. Okay, I think Apostle hasn't joined us. Apostle hasn't joined us. Also, later we'll be having some short takes from Prince Biscuit, my daddy. They share his communication. The only platform that has their own app on Android and all mobile devices. Biscon Television. That's the only television which has their own app right now in Nigeria and running successful broadcast daily, 247. Biscon Telecommunication.
All right.
So we joined later by the Lady of Song. Okay, is Apostle here?
Yes. Can we call on while Apostle Anselm Madubuko tries to sort himself out? Can we invite Pastor Oke Ogunjofo to please pray for us?
Okay.
Pastor Oke Ogunjofo.
Okay, Pastor Oke.
Thank you.
Technical, please, let's go to Pastor Oke. Pastor. Morning,
I'm
sir.
here.
Please
Good
pray
morning.
for us. Please pray for us, sir.
Distinguished guests, good morning. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Our Father in heaven, we thank you this wonderful day for such a privilege and honor that you've given to us to be counted among the living. We thank you especially for the miracle of sleeping and waking up and the grace to be counted today, Father, worthy to be here on the day of the 10th anniversary celebration of the Yes Magazine.
Anniversary. And then I participate now, the 27. Oh, just
yourself.
You're everything.
Pastor Okeo Gunjofo, could you please unmute yourself? We can't hear you.
Oh, thank you so much. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, let's start again. In the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Our Father in heaven, we thank you today for the miracle of sleeping and waking up, and for the opportunity given to us to be counted among the living. Here today, we have all gathered together by your grace to celebrate another year that you have given to Yes Magazine to commemorate what you've done in their lives and in this nation. Father, we join them with faith today to thank you for the works you've done in times past in their life, for the one you're doing today, and even the one you'll do in the many years to come, using this magazine to change lives in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
As we are here today to listen to the words of wisdom that you give to us concerning those ones who are going to give us lectures today, Lord, we're asking for wisdom, we're asking for knowledge, we're asking for understanding, especially your spirit, to guide us and to lead us, so that when we live here today, Father, everything we've learned will be to our own benefit and to the benefit of our environment and to the nation at large, in Jesus' mighty name. Father,
Amen.
strengthen Yes Magazine, for your word says that everything that concerns your word is yea and amen. And rightly, they have titled their magazine Yes Magazine. So we believe you today that you will continue to guide them in the years to come, so that you can enlarge their horizon and expand their coast beyond this nation. In Jesus' mighty name we pray.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
I think our voices
Kofi,
have been
all
clear.
right, you need to unmute yourself.
Yes. I can hear myself now. I have been unmuted. Thank you so much, Pastor OK. Thank you so much. That God bless you. Thank you so much for the prayer. 10 years is no mean feat in present day Nigeria. Any business that has survived 10 years in Nigeria deserves all the accolades and respect. And yes, thanks to a lot of experience. Everyone in this chat room today has had some sort of experience. That's why we're all here to share. Before we go further, we'd like to take the Nigerian national anthem. Forgive me, I don't think a lot of us will stand, so permit me, especially the host, I'm going to speak it. At the count of 3. Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call. God bless Nigeria. God bless Nigeria. God bless Nigeria. Thank you very much. Thank you, Technical. Thank you so much. Without further ado, I'd like to invite the man himself, a visionary publisher, the finest journalist, the most handsome, the always looking fresh. Even after growing some gray beard, he still looks like he's some 25-year-old young man. The very calm and I don't know, Azulum seems to be someone who is a resident in Nigeria. None of the facts that we are all feeling about Nigeria shows on Azu Arinze. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the publisher, Yes International Magazine, Mr. Azu Arinze. Thank you so much. You're welcome.
You've done so much for me, I cannot tell it all. If I had 10,000 tongues, it still wouldn't be enough.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, welcome and thanks so much for joining us today as we mark our 10th anniversary and annual lecture. I wish to begin my speech by sending my sincere greetings and gratitude on behalf of my family and staff to all my friends and benefactors, as well as our readers and advertisers. Without you, that would not have been today. You made it happen, and I really, really thank all of you. Yes, International Magazine is a dream come true, I must confess. It is also gratifying to know that I've had a amazing, terrific, splendid, and awe-inspiring 10 years experience as a publisher and editor-in-chief. No doubt, I am happy for everything. However, there's the emotional side to my happiness and adventure in publishing, and this is quite instructive. Anytime I remember how I left my job as editor of Encomium Magazine, one of Nigeria's leading celebrity journals for the unknown, I am always intensely touched. I also marvel at what only God can do, like we enjoy saying in Nigeria. I left Encomium, a journal that represented everything secure at that time. Thank God my boss, Mr. Lakunle Bakare, is here because of my desire to start my own business, carve a niche for myself, and live my dream of becoming an active voice in the publishing arena. In the last 10 years, we have experienced toughness and tiredness as an organization, but we have also seen triumphs and trusts in different areas for which we are grateful to God. At a personal level, I must say that I have lived my dream. Aside being a publisher, I also added something extraordinary to the bargain. I am now an author of several books, And that gives me unimaginable and indescribable joy. Without your support, cooperation, my dear friends, I would not be here. I equally would not have been able to journey this far. But it's actually amazing how time flies. 10 years have passed in just a fleeting moment. 10 years ago, journalism was very sweet, in quotes, and unencumbered by the challenges we face today as professionals. Nevertheless, we are grateful to God for keeping us. And that, as a matter of fact, is the reason we are celebrating and thanking the Almighty for this decade of exploits and opportunities. As we bid goodbye to 10 years of a remarkable journey in the life of our company, we welcome the next decade with enthusiasm and hope, more opportunities and joy as we journey to our ultimate destination. I thank all our speakers, particularly Mr. Steve Babeko, our chairman, Mazi Samohu Abungwa, our special guest of honor, Chief Festus Keyamo SAN, all the amazing people who are here, from Prince BC Olatilo to Apostle Ansel and Madubuko to Lady Onyeko to Yomi Badejo Kusa to Femi Showulu, all the wonderful people, my wife, my children, I really, really thank you. And I pray for a better tomorrow for all of us. Thank you. Thank you. Again, I say thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the publisher, Yes Magazine, Mr. Azu Arinze. Please share hands together for him. Thank you so much. That was quite emotional for me, especially when you had to give kudos to whom kudos was due to. Ladies and gentlemen, earlier when I was introducing Mr. Azu, I said he's finest of them all, fine boy. But that came from Kuchuli under a master. That's the one and only KB, Mr. Kunle Bakare, the chairman CEO, Comium Magazine International. The only thing Azu did not see from Mr. Kunle Bakare are his suits. So, the finest suits you will see on any individual is on Mr. Kunle Bakare. Thank you also for joining us. God bless you. Like I said earlier, we have very wonderful people here with us. I introduced Mr. Femi Showolu earlier, the MD, Jam FM, and one of the best voices you would ever hear in broadcasting in Nigeria. He's the top rated vocal in Nigeria, Mr. Femi Showolu. Thank you so much for joining us as well. And then, of course, we have the lady of song, the diva of the screen, the politician as well, our mommy, the one whose latest video trending has shown how he has been so cultured with journalism over time. The lady of songs herself, Lady Oye Kanwe, MFR. Thank you also for joining us. God bless. At this point, I'd like to give the floor to our story in brief, show you something about our business in the past 10 years. Technical, please give us the details.
Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new standards of excellence.
Yes.
Say yes to engaging reportage with a difference.
Yes.
Introducing Yes International Magazine.
Thank you very much. Please, Mr. Azuarinze, I have a question to ask you. Are we celebrating 10 years or 30 years in journalism? Because from the footage I just saw, not many tabloids can confidently say they've been able to achieve that. And that was just 4 years. What you have shown us in that pictorial was just 4 years of work. That was just 4 years. We've not gone to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That was just 4 years. I must commend you. You have done an amazing job. Ladies and gentlemen, I think you are one of the very few journalists in Nigeria who has been able to bring together so many people, both on the pedestrian and then the political and then the powerful level across all disciplines. Indeed, this is amazing. I actually saw myself somewhere in there with my lemon shirt and lemon tie. I was like, oh. Of all the editions I came, that's the only one that Azu had to show the world. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Azu, what I used to enjoy every time we gathered for this anniversary lecture was the refreshment. Besides the lecture and the packages that we got, the refreshment. So how are we going to do the refreshment today? Because most of us are in our home.
When we get to that bridge, we'll sort it out. Everything will be sent virtually.
As you bridge or not. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to go to the chairman of this anniversary lecture. Like I said earlier, he's the captain of industry, a very impactful and resourceful, valuable human being, a man of purpose, a man of timber and caliber. Ladies and gentlemen, our chairman, who also happens to be the former chairman, CEO Pfizer Products PLC, and President Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria. Please welcome Mazi Sam Onwabunwa, OFR. Good morning, sir. You're welcome, sir.
Yeah.
You're welcome, sir.
Good morning, Kofi. I couldn't identify you in the documentary because the hair you wear now, I'm not sure it was what you were wearing then. Very distinguished gentlemen, ladies, very, very profoundly patriotic professionals in different facets of Nigerian endeavor and different facets of human endeavor, including those who are in the vineyard of the Lord, those who are in journalism, and those who are policymakers and political giants. I cannot sufficiently express my thanks to God for the privilege offered me and all of us here to be alive today. Because as I was looking at this documentary, I noted one or two people who have gone to be with the Lord. And therefore, it is something of joy and something to be thankful to God that we are still on this side of the divide, hopefully doing what God expects us to do and fulfilling our mandates and our destinies. I really want to say it's a great pleasure to be in the company of all of you this Saturday morning and to celebrate a young man of purpose and vision. You know, when I looked at the inauguration, the launch of this Yes magazine 10 years ago, Azu was looking like a Boy Scout or some kind of, small boy that was conscripted into business. Thinking about it, I'm wondering what gave him the audacity to branch out from lucrative employment in encomium to venture into the uncertain and murky and dangerous waters of business. Now, business anywhere in the world is a risk-taking venture, and that's why we offer them profit as reward for that risk. But I have been around in the industrial and economic landscape for more than 40 years in active business and in active participation in what goes on, involved in advocacy through the Nigerian American Chamber of Commerce, the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Nigerian Employers Consultative Association, through the Nigerian Economic Summit Group. And the central theme of our focus and our labor has always been, how do we get Nigeria to be economically competitive nation, a nation with the right environment, business environment, political environment, security environment, financial environment, with the right stable policy environment to attract investment and to attract investors, whether they be local investors or they be foreign investors. That's always our mission. And the reason we've been committed to this mission is that we're clear in our heads as economic agents ourselves that the economy cannot perform except we have investments. Investments is what people like Azu and all of us here who have either borrowed money or raised funds from banks or from other individuals to set up some business. Investments create businesses. Businesses create jobs. Jobs create wealth. And wealth drives away poverty, causing improved quality of life. Now, that is the central work that our governments in Africa sometimes don't seem to put proper focus on. We're not putting proper focus on ensuring that the environment is friendly for businesses, because it is that friendliness that will attract the investment, that will create the businesses, that will create the jobs, that will create the wealth. We can't be talking about fighting poverty or dealing with economic low productivity until we understand how we can rev it up. The revving up is a simple ABCD. Attract investment and let these investments create businesses. Let businesses create jobs. Let jobs create wealth. That's the cascade. And then irrespective of the challenges we see in the environment, people like Azu could venture and leave the comforts of regular income to try and do business on his own. And I can say that those 10 years must have been very, very rough years for him. Some of us saw better years, and then we see rough years, and then we see good years. But when you come into a business, when the business environment is rough and it's been turbid and getting rougher by the day, then we need to thank God for you so that you are still standing and your magazine is standing. Again, going to a business in an area that has high mortality rate, as we say in healthcare, mortality rate, magazines and publications die so quickly because of our culture. We don't read much, we don't advertise much. We prefer sometimes just to hear read stories or listen to rumors and share gossips. So for you to have survived in this environment, you have a story to tell, my brother. You have a story to tell, especially the younger ones who, like you, are gearing to go, who are enamored with entrepreneurial spirit and who wish to make success of their lives. Because it's only when we have a lot more people like you daring and willing to spring away and create jobs, not for yourself only, but you create jobs for other people. That's the only way Nigeria can grow. That's the only way we can deal with the high level of youth unemployment. More people like you. So I think you are an inspiration to them, and even to those of us who are wondering, should we give up? When we see you, we are hope does rise up. So I want to congratulate you and congratulate all those who have supported you, because I know that somebody like my Nigerian brother, BC Olatilo, who was there at the beginning, is still with you today. You know, I can see Pastor Anselm, who was at the beginning. I'm still with you. So first, you're lucky that you've kept your friends and you have people who are holding your hand as you climb the steep and the steepy road to stardom, to business success and business accomplishments. I want to thank them, because as we celebrate you, I want to celebrate them. Without their help, without their support, without their mentorship, you won't be here. Bakare, who set you up, you know, in his encomium. These are people who God has used as destiny helpers to bring you this day. And I'm glad you've not lost touch. I remember I chaired one of the anniversaries, and you still haven't lost touch. We remain friends since then. So I am glad to be here again at this 10th anniversary. And I want to tell you that I'm looking forward to the 15th and the 20th, because we shall still be around, and we will still be partners with you as you do and play your role your own chosen career, your own chosen area. I'm also grateful that we have a very distinguished businessman here today, especially the guest speaker, who will give us his own insight into how to run a successful business in Nigeria. Yes, Nigeria is tough. The environment is tough. Yeah, people are succeeding in business. So it's not just that the place is tough. You need to find the formula, how to decode the environment and be able to make an inroad, because everywhere business is done, whether it is good or bad, even in the face of COVID-19, some businesses were making it, others were folding up. So there's always something we can learn from you and from our guest speakers. So once again, let me welcome us all to this 10th anniversary, Yes International Magazine, both lecture and anniversary. And join Kofi to say that we're expecting our refreshments and entertainment, which I'm sure have been worked out so that we can have a proper and sustainable memory of today. Once again, yes. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you all.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. That's our chairman for this anniversary, Mazisa Onhabunwa. Thank you. I like the parting shot. At least someone has concurred with me. I didn't see any other person agree with me when I asked for refreshment earlier. So it is just the two of us that will be giving refreshment at the end of the program. So 10 years refreshment goes to just the two of us. Any other person that agrees, go into the chat room now and demand for your refreshment. Thank you so much, sir. I like what you said. Investment is very important because it leads to businesses, and businesses birth jobs. Jobs bring wealth, and then kills poverty, unemployment especially. Mr. President just issued a statement that even with a certificate, you are not assured of a job. Once we have investment, I'm sure a lot of the unemployed young people get something to do. An idle hand is an idle mind as well as a devil workshop. A lot of the banditry we see nowadays is because of a lot of joblessness and laziness. So you said Azu keeps in touch. Yes, Azu is one person I know who keeps in touch because he's a man who has a very free spirit and friendly spirit. Running business in Nigeria is not easy. The major headache of most entrepreneurs is the salary of their staff. So Azu have to keep in touch with everybody because that salary must be constant. That salary must be constant. yeah. Azu must keep in touch with, please. So I also like to quickly recognize Mr. Loye Amzat from News of the People. That's the CEO there. A very good friend of Azu and myself as well. And also we have the chief editor of Ovation Magazine, that's Mr. Michael F. Young. Also here is also coordinating things. And of course, Madam Edith Azu Arimbe is somewhere. I think I saw her there. She exited and came back on. It's been good so far. Like we notice, comedians, we notice a lot of things. It is so bad now that every young man is looking for something, one way or the other, to survive. Mr. Chairman just said that we need to look for the formula. So whatever the formula is, we need to hand it over to the next generation because their mindset right now of making it is different from where we're coming from. They are doing anything anyhow. At some point, I was at Onipan bus stop sometime 2 years ago. I was standing by the express. I wasn't going to cross the highway. I was standing waiting and somebody was trying to get something for me. And then this young man came next to me and looked at me. I was standing on my 2 legs. He looked at me, said, "Oga, you go buy crutches." I had to look at my legs. "Buy crutches, are you all right? Do I look crippled to you?" He said, "Oga, they tell you now 5,000, buy it now before we increase the price." I said, "What do you mean buy crutches?" He said, "Don't worry." He now pointed to the other side of the road and said, "Look at that man going across the highway, just watch." Truly, as the guy was crossing the highway, vehicle coming just took the guy. As the guy was still mid-air, say, "Oga, you go back." So I tell him before he no agree. Before he land, now the price won't go 10,000. We get wheelchair too. So a lot of Nigerians now are devising different means to survive, but we can do better. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest of honor he's ready. He's a very, very prompt individual who keeps the time. I think he had been calculating everything we're doing, and then he just came right on time. Ladies and gentlemen, the Minister of State, Labor and Employment. It is his department. He is the one who knows about employment majorly. Please welcome our guest of honor, Chief Festus Keyamo, S.A.N. You're welcome, sir. You're welcome.
Hello, my brother. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Morning, sir. Morning,
it's good to have you. Thank you so much.
Yes, boss.
I'm happy to be here. And I just got the last part of the last the speech by the last speaker, and I think that is really spot on about how.
Honorable Minister, can you turn your phone?
You want me to turn it?
You're not well positioned.
Okay, so you want me to turn it like this?
Yes, beautiful.
Yes,
beautiful, beautiful.
Is it better?
Yes, beautiful.
Yes.
Okay, okay, perfect. Perfect. All right.
The minister's phone is different from our phone, so.
All right. So am I good to go?
Yes.
Yes,
you are.
All right. Well, I think that the business environment is changing. We should also accept that it wasn't the way it was when we started. A couple of us started some 3 decades ago. These days, it's easier for the younger ones to even reach out to the public through social media platforms. In those days, we had to do it the hard way. And Azu, you understand what I'm talking about. Then if you don't go through Azu or go through some of the media boys, you can never be heard. But these days, everybody can be heard right from their bedrooms without having to go through anyone. So that's a big plus to the business environment and the younger ones now. So they have an advantage over and above the advantage we had when we started. Now, how are they making use of that advantage? I think somebody made the point eloquently too, that perhaps they are not patient enough to build gradually. Many of the younger ones now, they want to start from the top to the bottom, but all businesses are started from the bottom to the top. The challenge of building your business brick by brick, block for block, takes a lot of patience, requires a lot of patience. Very big businesses are not built overnight. If you hear the stories of people who have been very successful in building businesses, they will tell you how they started. They may not tell you everything though. They may skip some very rough parts. But anyway, it's always block for block, brick for brick. So I think one of the challenges, coming back to your topic now, is the ability to be patient. The ability to ensure that the first income or the first set of income that you have as a businessman, you use them wisely. Let me be very blunt about how the younger ones, much younger ones, we are all still very young, but the much younger ones, I mean, how they go about their businesses these days. The first set of money they make, they want to immediately be flamboyant, because there's a challenge just like a challenge in the social media these days of who has bought the best cars, who has rented houses in the best part of Lagos State or the best part of Nigeria, you know. It's always like a challenge, it's like a competition amongst young people these days. And so the first set of money they make, instead of ploughing it back to their businesses, you see them go and buy expensive cars, rent expensive houses in expensive areas. And before they even finish paying for it, they are on social media. They're on Instagram and everywhere, showing people that they have arrived. Whereas you have not even started the journey, you say you have arrived. Let me tell you very clearly, buying big cars and showing off big houses at a very young age is not a sign of arrival. The sign of arrival or progress for a young man is to show me the balance sheets of your businesses and how much returns you are making or how much profit you have made in the last 1 year. And that profit you make, you must continue to invest in things that are enduring. Things that are enduring, so that when the difficult periods come, everybody must pass through those difficult periods in life. When those difficult periods come much later in life, you can withstand the difficult periods and keep moving on. So I urge all of us, especially the much younger ones, some of us like Azu has built up a business. He has built up himself. Others have built up themselves. Those who are much, of our generation, or a bit younger or older. But I'm talking of the ones who are just, starting off now. They should learn from some of you. Like, for example, you, Azu, for instance. You were also willing, and that's the second point I want to make. You were also willing to go through tutelage. In many cases, tutelage helps you to avoid pitfalls. Tutelage is like someone having a jump start in life. Jump start means that you skip so many hurdles and you start from a very convenient position. That's what tutelage means. Tutelage means that you will not fall and stumble, because there'll be a mentor or a boss there to say, look, hey, don't go this way, because many of us went this way and we failed. So when you have wise counsel and guidance like that, you will not make so many mistakes. So many mistakes that can set you, way back. So we must be humble enough. We must be humble enough to learn. Building up a business or building up a brand, like my brother, I think Kofi, that's what Kofi I saw before I came in. These are boys who dug in from the beginning and took time to build their brands. It is not overnight. You go to places at times. I'm sure Kofi, when he went to some places at a much younger stage, he will not get the kind of accolade he will get. He will go back, he will study his tapes again. He will talk to much older comedians and say, what mistake did I make there? Did I rush my punchline? Did I not rush my punchline? What mistakes did I make? And then he will learn and learn and learn. And then you keep building your brand and keep improving. So we should be saying that we should be clear that mentorship helps you at times to skip a lot of hurdles and reduce your mistakes. The point I made earlier is also related to this third point about investing wisely at a very young age. Investing wisely. Patience is related to this. The point of patience is related to this point too. The first money you make in life, invest wisely. Make sure you don't invest in things that will reduce in value. Let me be clear in terms of A and B and black and white. As a young man, you don't need 3 or 4 cars in your garage when you have not built your own house. You don't need 3 or 4 cars. You don't. If it is possible, I'm not saying that you have to do it. Yourself and your wife can even, at a very young age, young couples, you can manage one car. Tell her to use the car today. Let me use the car tomorrow. Take the car and do school runs. Okay, pick me up when I close from work. You are not competing with your neighbors who has bought the flashy car, the best flashy cars for their wives, and then one extra too. I'm being honest, it's not a poverty mentality. If you buy a car today for 15 million naira, put it back in the market tomorrow, somebody will price it for 7 million naira. It says cargo. You lost 8 million naira within one night. Invest in a business. Invest in equipment you want to use to build a business or property, for instance. The next day you put it in the market, or that equipment you invest 50 million in the next 2-3 years, it will grow to a 40-50 million naira business or 100 million naira business. Then you can start buying the cars you want to buy. If you buy a 50 million naira property today with that money, tomorrow put it back in the market, you can sell it for 25 million. Just be wise. That is the truth of the matter. Be wise. I don't want to sound too archaic, but unfortunately, I mean, that's how some of us, that's how some of us build from, from scratch. Let me be clear to younger ones. Let me be very clear. The best things in life, are not running away. The best things in life are not running away. The cars, fashionable things, and all that, they are not running away. Traveling all over the world for pleasure is not running away. They will always be there. Those things will be there. Those things will be there. America will not run away. It will keep improving until you are time. The time is enough for you to buy first class ticket and travel all over the world. And you will still see the America waiting for you there, or the Europe, or the best islands in the world. When you have not gotten investments here, you are buying. When you have not gotten investments here, you are buying expensive tickets at a young age to travel all over the world and snapping pictures and putting on social media that I've been to this island and this island, buying first class ticket, stay in the best hotels. Whereas you don't have businesses here. You don't have a background here. Those things are not running away. The best cars are not running away. The best cars are not running away. They keep improving. So when you are solid enough, when your time comes, yes, you will now begin to buy those things when you have solid background already. Okay, so that's those are my few thoughts this morning. I can go on and on because I have other engagements, but that I think is the kind of guidance we can give to much younger ones these days.
Thank you very much, Minister. God bless you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, Minister of State, Labor and Employment, the one and only Chief Festus Keyamo. Thank you so much for out of your busy schedule, you were able to spare some time this morning. God bless you. Wish you all the best for that thing you're doing at the end of the day and also in your ministry. God bless you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. God bless you. Ladies and gentlemen, like you heard from the Honorable Minister, we need to let the young ones know what's most important. In 1997, I heard some lyrics from a song by Notorious B.I.G., Puff Daddy, and the crew. In the part where Notorious B.I.G., before he came in, Puff Daddy said something that spoke to me as a young man, and today it helped me. He says, what you can have now, leave it as you will. Whatever you can have now, leave it. Keep working on yourself. And that has helped. Yes, like he said, I must have taken tutelage from some people. One of my major teachers from afar is Dr. Lawyer here. We are friends now. But from afar, I used to look at him, study him. But I realized that he was one of the teachers of my own teacher, Ali Baba, that made my industry buoyant. He also took tutelage from that Dr. Lawyer, Sonny Rabo, and like. So I had to look at the masters. How did they carry their steps? What did they do best? And that's why I'm still here by his grace. Not because I'm very funny or I'm the best, but no, having to learn from worthy people and then knowing what and what to do. I invest a lot in myself and my business. I don't have to show anybody my success on social media. And I think a lot of young people, they even laugh at people like us who don't do that on social media. They say our career is dead. We are faded off because we don't show where we stay. We don't show where we have children in secondary school already. We don't show all those things that are most important in life. So I agree with you, Minister. Thank you so much. God bless you. Yes, it's time for the lecture. I have some very wonderful people who need to introduce, but please let me kick off the lecture. Then immediately after the lecture, I'll do some more introduction. I see that Azu has been standing for a very long time. I need him to sit down and learn as well, because the next person speaking is a full bag of wisdom and experience. So this is the man who has constantly placed a lot of my colleagues on their, has put them on their toes, make sure that they keep going, keep going. This is the man that brought me to limelight for us. This is the man, I don't want to keep naming names. He has been able to impact on the entertainment industry, that I know. Other industries can tell, but me, I know that for entertainment, recently there was a campaign where comedians were brought together to champion a cause, and I see Baba Eko was behind all of that. So for me, he has been very instrumental in lifting the entertainment industry and creating employment, because without him, some of the businesses that are functioning in entertainment right now will not function. I can name a long list of entertainers who keep saying, it's going to be Steve Babaiko. Steve Babaiko holds this. This is not the forum for that. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the president of the Association of Advertising Agencies of Nigeria, the CEO, Extreme Ideas, very extreme ideas, and the finest dread in the industry. Please welcome the one and only Steve Babaiko as he shares his experience on how to run a successful business in Nigeria. You're welcome, boss. You're welcome.
Thank you, Kofi, the guru. Thank you so much for the very warm introduction. I almost wanted to look behind me to see if someone else is there that has been introduced and know me. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Before I even go any further, I'd like to congratulate my friend and my brother, I call him Mazi Azuarinze, for 10 years of excellence and 10 years of Yes Magazine. I want to congratulate him and his team. It's not easy. I also like to use this opportunity to respectfully give a shout out to the chairman of this occasion, Mazio Hamwa. I listened to him, and you could see even with the short time that he had to speak, there were gems of knowledge that was already dropping that I so much appreciate. So thank you for coming. And the Honorable Minister, Festus Keyamo, also, for speaking and for being a special guest of honor for today. I welcome you, sir. I also like to especially thank Mrs. Arinze, because sometimes when you talk about people and their success, we tend to not consciously but unconsciously just gloss over the role of the woman. If Mazi Azuarinze goes home every day and he has problems, maybe Yes Magazine will have packed up by now, because when you go out to do all of the things you do outside the garden business, you want to come to a peaceful home, and I'm sure Mrs. Arinze has been able to provide that for my friend. So thank you, Ma, for all of the taking care of that you do for my friend and my brother as well. We value and we appreciate you. Finally, for the shout outs, I'd like to do shout out to Mr. Kunle Bakari to see that it's not everybody, nobody wants to lose their best hands, and that's my experience in business. So sometimes you provided tutelage and mentorship and provided job opportunity for someone to grow, and when they finally decide to go set up their own, I know that not many people are as positively receptive to that idea like Mr. Bakari has been. I've followed the trend. Every time Azu is doing something, he's usually one of the first to be there, and I want to especially commend him and for him to keep up that good attitude. I mean, we need to like him in this country for us to move forward. Finally, I'll have to say, Kofi was talking about refreshment. What I have not told Azu is that somehow I found a way to get his address. So as soon as I'm done with my presentation, the next knock he hears on his door will be me and my family knocking to collect our refreshment. So as of brace up for receiving me and my family this evening. I'm really, really happy, and you can see what I'm wearing. I'm a big believer in Nigeria. I'm a big believer in this country. I'm so excited when I heard the national, and I actually literally stood up just to salute my country. Obviously, we are facing a very difficult moment right now where there's a lot of upheavals all over the place. I just think that sometimes you don't know what you have until you lose it. I think what we need to do as Nigerians is to find a way to keep pressing, like we're pressing the government now, so that the necessary adjustments will be made to accommodate every nationalities in this country, so that we preserve this country and continue to enjoy some of the God-given endowment that he has found in his grace and mercy to place in this country. I'll continue to fly the flag for this country and continue to support Nigeria till my very last breath. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be here. Now, they say most businesses usually there's a statistic that says most businesses, especially businesses that are like startups, will die in their first 5 years. As well as you are here celebrating your 10th, so you are obviously one of the few that survive. And it's also worthy of note that Yes Magazine is just 1 year older than Extreme Ideas. So ideally, if businesses are human beings. Extreme Ideas should be calling Yes Magazine, but that Yes Magazine, according to the Yoruba tradition. But I also listened to the Honorable Minister when he was making his little contribution. Of course, so many things that he said, it was as if he saw my presentation. But so I agree with him to a certain degree. But I think we have to be careful to not overgeneralize and box the young generation into just, oh, that's the generation that just goes on social media to just show off. This country is a very difficult place to do business, I must say. I love this country, but we have to be say the truth. Running a business here is very challenging. I think not even just in Nigeria, I think it's on the continent generally. Running businesses in Africa can be very, very challenging. Obviously, we can begin to name so many reasons: government policy, infrastructural challenges. So I think we should just be careful to not overgeneralize and box this next generation into a corner where we just want to say, okay, look, this is our generation, we're better, and these other guys are just good for showing off. It's the same generation that Paystack has been built. It's this generation that I can count so many businesses that have been built by this generation. Paystack just came out looking with their evaluation reports and all of the things that, all of the hundreds of millions of dollars that they have paid. As a matter of fact, at some point I was going to cut my dreads, but when I saw what the Paystack boys sold for, I said, okay, maybe I should still keep these dreads in case that somebody may be interested in having it a part of the bargain in the future. So I just thought I should mention that. Quickly, I'm going to go into my presentation proper. And with your kind permission, I'd like to share my slide so that we can see some of the things that I have prepared. I said building a successful business in Nigeria. As a matter of fact, when I was supposed to do this last year for Mazia Zualinze, and COVID-19 interrupted and we couldn't do it. But I kept on thinking from that last year and he came back again and said, Steve, I still want you this year. And I'm like, if you're talking about successful business, I still consider myself work in progress as a matter of fact. And so I don't even know that I actually qualified to be making this presentation. But since he's my friend and according to the name of the magazine is yes, I couldn't possibly tell him no. So when he said, asked me whether I was going to do it, my answer, of course, obviously was yes. So I will share a couple of my experience. For the people who may not know who I am, my name is Steve Babaiko. And Kofi introduced me. Let me log the door. Apologies for the noise. Like Kofi rightly introduced me, I'm the CEO of Extreme Group. And Extreme Group is made up of a lot of companies, about 6 or 7 companies within a group of companies, from Extreme Ideas, which is the most famous, Extreme Music, and 0 Degrees, Media 100, and a couple of companies. And what we did was we started our business August 1, 2012. But in the last 4 years, we found the impetus and we just took the gauntlet to like say, okay, look, we've done a lot in this country. And my vision has always been about more Pan-Africanism and much more continental in nature. And when I saw the free trade agreement coming up, we said, okay, we're going to just go ahead and hopefully have some kind of wind behind our sail to be able to take us across the continent. The last 3 years, we set up in Johannesburg. So we have an office in Johannesburg in South Africa. We also have a very successful, if I may say so myself, business in Lusaka in Zambia. Due to the COVID, I was not able to go to Lusaka for like a year. There are clients we have there that have not met and people we have hired that have not had the opportunity to meet. I just did that about 2 weeks ago and I came back. So, and then about last year, July, during the pandemic, I was elected as the president of the Association of Advertising Agencies of Nigeria, AAAN. I feel very honored. Earlier in my career, when they introduce anybody as the president of AAAN, I always see them like a small president of a West African country. I mean, this is the position that people like Dr. Biodun Shobanjo has occupied, people like Mr. Udemel Fort, and so many other wonderful people and legendary people in this profession. So I feel very privileged to be representing AAAN at this moment. It's important, I'm a husband to my very beautiful and beloved wife, Yetunde Ayeni Babaiko. She's a photographer. And in case she's watching or whether she's not, I want to tell her again, like I told her this morning, I do love her very much, and I will continue to just be proud of my role as a husband. I'm a father. I have my sons. I have 3 sons. Louis, my eldest boy, who just got from high school yesterday, and I have Austin and Lamar in the middle. So we are really, I'm proud of them, of their achievement and how they're growing up. I'm also a golfer, or sometimes I pretend to be. I play off a very modest handicap of 18, but golf is my thing recently, and I'm really grateful for the sport. It's really to meet so many people, and I'm really proud of the sport. I'll give us a little backstory before I go into this thing. When Chief Keyamo was speaking earlier on about buying cars and everything, I'm like, the Honorable Minister must have just been able to use his legal powers to peep into my notes and see what I was going to speak about. I'll go back to about 2011. 2011, I turned 40, June 1. I turned 40 years old. So obviously, if you make the calculation, this year, June 1, I turned 50, you know. So in that year, I was still, I started my advertising career in 1995 with a company called MC&A Saatchi & Saatchi. They used to be in Shonibare Estate back in the days. And I was a guy who grew up in the North. I went to Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. I studied theater arts. And one day I just felt, look, I'm done with the North. I needed to come to the North, especially Lagos, to pursue my advertising career. So coming in 1995, June 8, I had squatted in a hotel called Golden Tulip now. It used to be Doba Hotel Maitu there. I squatted with the chef there for 2 years. And I was just hitting the streets of Lagos looking for opportunity. Eventually, a very kind man, Mr. Victor Johnson, who was the MD of MC&A, gave me the opportunity to start my career as a copywriter in MC&A. I worked there for 5 years. After 5 years, I got the opportunity to move to Prima Garnet, where this was my dream agency at the time, and I got the opportunity to work there for another 5 years. The owner of the business also had a brilliant idea to set up another, a much more younger, nimbler, vibrant agency called 141 at the time. And he deployed me from Prima Garnet to go and be the founding creative director of 141. And most people who probably know me became aware of who I was from my days working at 141, I believe. And it wasn't my business, but I took it very personally, and I made sure that I was going to do everything to make sure that the agency became successful. And in less than 6 months to a year, we had become the agency to beat in the country at the time. Now, fast forward to 2011, I had worked 141 for 7 years as creative director. We had built a business that's way more successful than the mother business, which was Prima Garnet at the time. And then, I don't know what I was drinking, and I had this idea that I needed to buy myself a Range Rover car, because up to that, likely even up till today, I found myself in a very interesting place where I have never ever used my money to buy a car for myself, even till today. Every car I have driven in my life was always provided to me by the company that I work with. So I have, I think, 2 cars today, and the 2 cars are the company that Extreme let's make sure that there's no. And I found my need to buy a car for some reason, because if you look at 2011, at that period, don't forget that I also have one leg in the entertainment business, where all of the whole record label executives who own businesses, Range Rover car was like their choice car for that year. Everybody had Range Rover Sport. So I felt, look, why can't I get a Range Rover Sport? So like I always do, I called my wife aside and I said, look, you know what? I have made up my mind. I've made the decision, but I want to carry you along in this decision. She said, what's the decision? I said, I've decided myself a Range Rover. She said, what? She said, why? I said, well, it's obvious. I mean, I need it. I'm also a record label exec. Every I meet owns one. Why can't I have one? She looked me dead in the eyes, and for the first time, she spoke to me in a way she had never spoken to me before. And she said, Steve, you have been stupid. I was taken aback, because I mean, I'd never heard that tone of voice from my wife before, ever. I'm like, how do you mean? She said, she said, how much is the car? I had negotiated with one guy who, because I actually did go to Costaris Motors to look for how much Range Rover was. And I got there, and to my shock, they said 16 million. But as at that time, I had only saved about 8 million naira. And that was all the money I had in the world. So he said, but at Costaris, they linked me to some other guy who they said bought a car and wanted to dispose it. He bought a 2010 model for his wife and wanted to dispose it to buy the new 2012 model that was about to come out. So I got the man's contact. I went to, I think, Chevron Estate to see the car, still in very good condition, mid condition. In fact, I'm not sure the spare tire had ever been brought out from the little enclave that it was. So I was in love with that car and I wanted it. So my wife said, how much is that going for? I said, 8 million. And she looked me dead in the eyes and said, people who buy 8 million naira cars usually have 80 million naira in their account. How much do you have? So I was so angry because that was not the retort I expected to get from her. I took my Honda Accord key, jumped and drove myself, which I hardly even do really because I don't consider myself such a good driver. So I was driving within the neighborhood, I wound down the glass just so that air can come in, maybe I knock some sense into my head. After a while, driving for about a minute, I contemplated on her response and I said, this woman has a very solid point. I came back home and I called the chief and I apologized because we had already agreed that I was going to bring the money and pick up the car. And I said I was not going to be able to continue with the transaction, so I backed out. That was in 2011, around November. Now, the story with my stay in the company I was working with was I had expected a certain promotion to have happened to me like 3 years before 2011. I looked like they kept postponing that promotion from happening. And really, all I actually need, because if I had gotten that promotion, I had this very troublesome petrol engine generator that was just guzzling my money and guzzling petrol. So actually, all I needed was, if I get to that next promotion, the company would have had to give me a diesel engine generator, and they would have been supplying the diesel for the generator. And believe me, that was all I needed the promotion for. So I kept hoping against hope that the promotion was going to come, but it kept on being pushed and being pushed. So as at 2010, I had spoken to my wife that if this promotion doesn't come, it looks like I might be quitting my job. My wife told me, Steve, relax, your boss is your good friend, he likes you, I'm sure he will do the needful. So 2 years before that, it didn't happen. Then in 2011, as at the time I was talking about getting this car, it still didn't happen. So I had told her, and I've called the family meeting with my boss, who were way more smaller than that. If this thing I'm expecting does not happen in 2012, I will be forced to take a decision. And that decision may ensure that somehow we will drink Gary, like they say in Nigeria. We'll drink Gary a bit for a couple of months, but I don't know how it's going to pan out. So fast forward to 2012. As at February or April, I think April, the promotion list came out again, and my name was not on the list, and I didn't get promoted. I'm so grateful to my wife forever, because that 88 million naira I was supposed to have spent on buying the Range Rover became the seed money for what is Extreme Ideas today. I took the money, I rented an office space, and like they say, the rest is history. I remember calling my friend Ayeni then, Ayeni Adekunle of BHM, and I was telling him all the plans that I had, because he, as a matter of fact, before that, I think 5 years before that, had been pushing me to say, look, Steve, you have to go. You have the knack for entrepreneurship. Go into it, take a chance, take a jump, and I keep looking at him. You want to go and commit suicide? I don't think I could possibly do this. When I was forced to do it and the time came, I was able to jump into it. Now, for people who want to run successful businesses, especially for young people who might maybe at some point see this video or whatever, just understand. I think that's some of the point of convergence with the Honorable Minister. There will always be challenges, never be in a hurry. There are what I call the setup blues, because I had 8 million naira, but of course I was a creative person. I really wasn't grounded in all of the business theories, and I never gone to business school. And as a matter of fact, there's this stereotype in our industry where creative people are always relegated to the background when it comes to who the successor to the CEO will be. They usually say, oh, creative people, they really can't run a business. Don't give them the opportunity. So I was flying a flag for the creative team and for my creative family, and I thought we will make this happen. But just like a creative, all I was more concerned with was, oh, set up the office, let it be nice. I remember Ayeni came to the office and said, Steve, you're doing all of this whole suspended ceiling, the lights. No, 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 you can't do this because, you know, this is somebody else's property. You cannot be. I just listened to it, but I knew, of course, I wasn't even going to listen to it because honestly, as a person, aesthetics means a lot to me. My environment and my working environment has to be in a certain way. So I went ahead, I did everything I wanted anyway. I had spent so much money on beautifying the atmosphere that I forgot that soon, in a couple of weeks' time, workers were going to resume and we're going to need money to pay salaries. So that's part of my setup. And part of my setup blues was that I didn't even really have a chairman. I did not have a partnership, which I would recommend. People always talk about how partnership have problems and whatever, but since the body is like that went through, so I recommend, and the tech boys in today's world understand the value of partnership. So I think if I had to do it again, maybe one of the things I would do is to get a partner. So I had all of this setup blues, trying to just set it up. All of the challenges came. And then all of a sudden, when I realized that we had no money to pay salary, I will tell you what all of the very difficult steps we had to take, 6 steps that we had to take to make sure that for our first salary, we did not end up giving our staff excuses to say, because some of the interviews that we conducted, we still conducted with cement bags and everything lying on the floor. So really, for people who, I would like to use this opportunity to salute the courage of the first staffers. Extreme, we were about 80 numbers because those guys are the real MVPs. I don't know that if I was interviewing in that environment, I would have taken the job because it looked like everything was not ready, you know. And another thing that one must do is getting the right team on the bus, you know. It's so important because at the end of the day, if people talk about Extreme today, people talk about Steve Babaiko and they refer to me and everything. Yes, I might be the guardian of the vision, but from the one, it was obvious that with the kind of business that we do, you need a team. And the business is as good as the kind of team you are able to assemble together, people who are able to connect with the vision and catch the fever that we were spreading amongst the team, and just that daring do spirit of being able to just go there and try to succeed at all cost. You know, and that's why at some point, there was one of my in-laws that I wasn't talking to for a long time because the moment we started, he had this brilliant idea that, oh no, Steve, you have to hire this person that's supposed to be from our village. And then because you know you need an eye in the office, somebody to tell you what's. I'm like, if I need an eye, I'll install the CCTV, which I did. Not even so much to even monitor the staff, but just for security reasons. I don't think being able to starting a business and putting all of this whole family sentiments into it, they don't go together. I mean, it's like oil and water, they really don't mix. So you have to get the right team and you have to just remove sentiment and everything. So of course I refused to hire the person, and for a long time, the man was trying to reach me, and for a long time, I really couldn't speak to him because my answer, unlike the name of the magazine, was no. No, and probably if you ask me today, the answer will still be no. So you are going to face the cash crunch. Like I said earlier on, the moment I realized that, look, we run a system that we inherited from the last place that I work, where you pay salaries to your team twice in a month, on the 15th and on the 25th. And the good thing that I'm really so proud of, which is, it should be normal, but I'm really so proud of it, is that in the 9 years of running this business, we have not delayed salary by 1 second. Every 15th and every 25th, our people get paid. I'm really proud of it. I'm saying it on camera now, so you know, in these days of social media, you can be called out if you're lying. So yeah, I take that very seriously, and I always tell the team, as long as I'm sitting on that chair, the priority and the welfare of my people, is top priority for me. You know, but when we started, we had finished using all of it that we had, and some few people. There's this friend of mine, Shegun was the only person, apart from my wife, who borrowed me money. Shegun was the only person who came and saw what I was doing and wrote a check of 150,000 naira and gave it to me. I said, look, Steve, I'm sowing this as a seed into your business. Believe me, that year, that money looked like 15 million because we had out of cement and we needed more cement to do some of the patchwork we were doing in the office at the time. You know, so like a normal creative, I blew all of the money trying to make the environment beautiful. We had set up an account with a business account with one of the banks. I think it was Diamond Bank at the time, who ended up later becoming our client. And our account officer, for some reason, the moment somehow the word went out, I think the BHM team did a very fantastic PR job for us at the beginning, in the whole world that we were open for business. So all of a sudden, all kinds of banks started coming to our office wanting us to open an account with them. But somehow I connected with the Diamond Bank lady because she was really very aggressive. She was not going to take no for an answer. And in my mind, I'm like, we really don't even have any money. Why is she being so persistent? So we opened the account with her. And then when that our salary was being delayed, there was this Visa card they gave us where we could draw, I think, 2.5 million naira off the card and pay the next month. So that was the only thing I could fall on. Because the same day we opened, one of the telcos gave us a contract because we had been negotiating with them like a month before we finally opened. So we had a client who had promised a retainer and they were going to pay, but we didn't have the cash at hand. So what happened was this lady actually, I kept on putting pressure because she gave me the card, but we couldn't draw on that card for some reason because some pin was supposed to come from Dubai or wherever, but the bottom line was the money was not forthcoming. And I was calling this lady on the phone. That was like 2 days before salary was due. I'm like, if we don't pay salary because of this thing, all hell was going to break loose, as if I had any serious money in the bank with the account or any serious account. But she went and knelt down before one of our top customers who came to deposit some cash money to say, look, I want you to give me 2.5 million naira. One of my clients need it badly, and I promised it to you in a week's time, I will give it to you. She took this chance for us and deposited this money in our account. It was that money we used to pay our first salary. And luckily for us, before that 1 week came, we were able to get from the client and we were able to meet our obligation and pay her. So I'm really, really grateful to her. And I did make sure to, when we finally won the Diamond Bank account, I made sure to drop her name with the MD at the time, told him the story, and I think that must have earned the girl 1 or 2 good promotions because of the way she went beyond the length of duty to fulfill, to meet a client's need. Now, in business, like they say, if you're measuring when you measure that heartbeat, right, it's always up and down and up and down. So that's how life is. Business just reflects life, as a matter of fact. And if it's flat, then the person is dead, right? So there's always going to be up and down in your business when you start. I think, which also underscores the point that the Honorable Minister was making about just being able to persevere and stay the course. Because if you believe in an idea, you have to persevere. So when those low moments come, we all pray for lifelines to come. In our own case, the lifeline we got was that telco business that gave us our first opportunity. I'll forever be grateful. Stephen Evans, the CEO of the company at the time, he called me and said, Steve, I made you an offer because the telco, I was working for them in the other agency. So they took an account from another agency to give half of that business, they gave it to me. And initially the proposition that they made to me was, look, remain as a consultant to the agency that I was working with. We wouldn't even let that agency to pay your salary. We will be responsible for your salary. Anything you call, we'll pay you. But I told them, well, thanks for the offer, but no thanks. I'm setting up on my own, set up my own business, and I really want to go and pursue it. And as a matter of fact, another telco business was already approaching me saying, look, if you take us on, we're going to give you Africa to play with, you know. So I told them, I said, well, for benefit of transparency and openness, this is the counter offer I'm also receiving somewhere. So they took part of the business from another agency and gave it to me. But Stephen Evans, my English client at the time, called me and said, Steve, you have zero track record of being a business person. We're going to give you this opportunity. The caveat, in the first 3 months, if you are not able to stabilize your business, then we will reduce your contract by 50%, your retainer, and we'll give you another 3 months. And if you're still not able to keep the business going, then we'll have to shake hands with you and let you go. Well, to God be the glory, like they say in Nollywood movies. 9 years later, we're still here, about to celebrate our 10th year anniversary next year. And we're already in 2 other African countries, with 2 more African countries, Cote d'Ivoire and Kenya, up in the works for maybe last quarter of this year. So it's a huge opportunity. So those lifelines will come, but when those lifelines come, be ready to receive it with both hands. And it is what you do with those lifelines that will guarantee whether you become successful or not. Because, you know, when opportunity comes, it does not sometimes come dressed in a fancy party clothes. Sometimes it can come in a work cloth, and then you might not recognize it for what it is, that this is a massive opportunity. But in our own case, I'm grateful that we recognized the opportunity we had, the lifelines we had, we took it and we built on it and we moved on. Next, curveballs. In business, curveballs will always come, especially when you operate on this continent. Curveballs could come from like maybe government legislation. You know, there was a gentleman of Indian descent who set up a business here about logistics business, delivering stuff with Okada. One day he had signed all of the contracts. One day the government came and said, look, he could not continue to work anymore. Unfortunately, the guy got hacked to death in his New York hotel, or was it his apartment in New York? You know, very sorry. So sometimes that's the way the curveball comes at you. In our own case, I actually have a book that will probably be coming out maybe next year if we're not able to make it this year. You know, the curveballs came in the form of the people we used to work with. You know, our regulatory agency is APCON, was APCON, that is still APCON now. APCON regulates everything that has to do with advertising in all its ramifications. So they are the regulator, they are like the way CBN is to the bank is the way APCON is to advertising agencies. The chairman of the APCON Council then made a law. We start up in 2012, August 1, and by September or so, there was a new law from APCON saying any advertising agencies practicing in Nigeria that is not a member of AAAN, which is the agency I'm now the president, the association I'm now president of, that any agency that's not a member of AAAN will be proscribed from January 1, 2013, the following year, for practicing advertising illegally. Meanwhile, we have been making serious moves to becoming member of AAAN. The last boss that I had in the last office I worked in was the president of AAAN. And for some weird reason, the president decided that, look, anything that has to do with new membership should be suspended from 2012 till maybe late 2013. And if that has happened, by 2013, APCON will have all the rights under the law to come and close down our business to say we were practicing advertising illegally. That scared me more than anything else in this life for a long time. So what I did was I reached out to some of the veterans in this business, people like Dr. Biodun Shobanjo. I reached out to everybody and I was trying to make a case. Look, you know what? I have not done anything illegal by setting up a business. I mean, the same entrepreneurship bug that beat all of these guys that made them set up their business is the same thing that beat me, that I'm trying to do what I'm doing. And in any case, we're providing employment for young people. So I know that what this thing is leading to is that by next year, somebody is going to come shut us down because of the law that's been promulgated. And they tried to intervene and it was not working. And I remember, God bless his soul, my lawyer friend, Ozako of Waiting Lawyer, they do fame, came out, Efere, and he said, look, Steve, what we're going to do is we're going to take these people to court. But these people were my bosses, and the people I actually look up to. They are my mentors, they are my benefactors. So I didn't want to start my business life with litigation, but it looked like obviously that was the route that we were going to, but somehow I think common sense prevailed at the end, and we found the resolution, and they registered Extreme Ideas to be member of AAAN, and then and to God be the glory. The way God has a sense of humor today, I'm president of the same association. So curveballs will come. You have to be able to be on your feet, think out of the box, because the government will come. You as a young person, imagine yourself, you set up a crypto business and you have an exchange, and the government comes and says, we're banning crypto. That's a curveball. See, it's not the end of the world. How you respond to it and be able to and have plans to hedge against any curveballs that comes is what's going to determine whether you become successful or not. Fight the power. I remember the story I just told you about all of the whole gang up about not wanting to register us. It required a certain level of boldness to be able to stand up to say, look, we will not be bullied out of this industry because we did not do anything wrong. And being able to speak truth to power and come out and say, this is what we believe in. We will continue to run our business according to continue to pay our taxes and make sure we follow walk the straight and narrow as far as the law allows us, but we will not allow anybody to run us out of business because we did not do anything wrong. Until today, everybody knows that I'm a lover of peace, but when you get pushed to the wall in certain instances, then you have no choice than to stand up and fight for yourself. So sometimes you have to be ready to fight for the success that you so much desire. So you have to be able to fight the powers that be sometimes to be able to find success. The speed of cash. People talk about the speed of light, speed of sound. I think for a business, once you are able to break that speed of cash where your cash flow becomes very fluid and very good, that is when you are truly successful. So whatever you do, it is keeping your eyes on the money, making sure that you have a good finance team in place, because you can do all the businesses in the world. If your finance is not in good shape and you don't have people managing it, you are never going to be able to break that speed of cash. And some of the things we've been able to do in our small time in business shows that, look, from day one, we knew the importance of a finance, so we put together a very strong finance team, made them as independent as possible. So if as a creative person, I'm much more off the whim of how I feel about something, I might want to go overboard. It is the job of our chief finance officers to say, look, Steve, this is not going to fly. You need to slow down. And we've been getting those kind of healthy counsel and advice, and that has helped us to be able to at least stay in business. So the speed of cash, you're not going to break it unless you're able to put a strong finance team and just that fiscal discipline to make sure that you're not spending above your means and not just building your life around showing off all your wealth. I see what Kofi and Chief Keyamo were talking about. I mean, I won't go on social media to show off what I have for one specific reason. I believe that there are lots of young people looking up to me, and I have so much following me and looking up to me, especially in the creative community. The life of a young Nigerian today is difficult enough. To now go there and be flaunting cars and money and jewelries, I just think puts extra pressure on young people. This is the age where mental health is becoming an issue. You see the rise in the level of young people killing themselves today. I just don't want to have that on my conscience going out there to show off. So if you check all my social media footprint, you will never see me. I can tell you, unless you know me, you really don't know what car I drive. You won't see me now because to be honest, the people that I look up to, the Mike Adenugas of this world, is the chairman going to be in his private jet and taking a selfie and putting it on social media to say, look at me, I'm flying? You don't even see him. So people that I look up to, and for all of those people, I just try to learn something that will keep you humble and keep you grounded. It's not about what you have, it's about how you're able to impact your community. Riding the waves will come. They say a calm sea does not make a good sailor. The boat looks very beautiful when they are in the harbor, but boats are not made to be in the harbor. They are meant to sail. And when you are sailing, you are going to run into waves. You never really know when those waves are going to come from. So all of the ups and downs we've had in businesses is just that ability to stay the course and be patient, just stay focused. I think it's one of the reasons why we are where we are today, and hopefully by God's grace we'll go even a lot further. Riding the wave is important. I think I'm getting towards the last few slides now. It's all in your mind, because for the people who are successful today, I'm telling you, there's no shortage of all of the war stories that they can tell you about all of the challenges they have faced. But the thing is that they did not give up then. And today, giving up is not an option. Even for our country, we can never give up, because if I give up on this country, am I going to go to Togo and say, open the border for me? A guy from a country formerly known as Nigeria is here to enter. Of course, they'll tell you this is not your country. So this is the only place we own. So, and everything, even in business, is all in our minds. You must make up. I used to tell myself as a young guy squatting in that chef's room, every day when I wake up, I used to look into the mirror. And before I brush my teeth, I used to tell myself, speak to myself, before I leave this town and not be successful, the garbage will run dry. It's a mindset. So success is a mindset. It's something that I saw the founder of Amazon. I saw one old picture on the internet where he was in his little cubicle when Amazon started, and on the wall was just a white piece of paper, and they had with a handwritten sign, Amazon, on it. The guy was just one skinny little white boy at the time. It looked like Azua Arinze 10 years ago. And he had that thing scribbled on it, just Amazon. Nobody knew the company then. So, but I'm sure he had a mindset to say, look, we will build this company and will become the most valuable company in the world. And while all of us are busy showing off pictures about how we're flying first class and flying jets to go to beautiful islands and have vacation, this man is planning to go to space. So as one of the first private passengers on a flight and on a vacation to space. So there are levels to this thing, and it's all in our minds. Whatever you do, we must keep working, no matter how challenging the time becomes, no matter all of the obstacles that get thrown in our way, we must keep working. The thing is that it is when you stop working that you have failed. It's not about how many times you fall down, but it's cliched, but you have to get up and keep going. We've faced challenges that could last us 2 lifetimes, but we never gave up on our dream. And today we're expanding across the continent. We're talking to businesses that are international, who are interested in doing business with us, and who are interested in partnership with us. If we had given up, I look at it, we will not be able to build the business we've built. Today, across our group of companies, we hire over 150 people. If we had given up those 150 people, maybe they would have found a job somewhere else, or maybe they will be jobless and creating more unemployment. Today, the unemployment among young people is said to be about 35%, but depending on what state you are, if you go as far as the northeast, sometimes there's about 55%, maybe 60% in some states, especially the states where Boko Haram has caused a lot of carnage, and that's what we're talking about. Is whatever we do, we have to keep pushing against that headwind that's confronting us, and we keep on pushing and keep on doing. And why I'm so happy about this lecture is that no matter even about how many people who are tuned in now, is the power of this message being able to spread beyond the moment. Because as Nigerians, and especially for people who are on the positive side of things in this country, we tend to want to say, oh, no, I really don't have to say anything. I don't have to go out to speak to the new generation to convince them to walk the straight and narrow. Some other person will do it. But the problem is, you are not alone. Like in everything, you are in competition with some other forces. The other forces are the guys who are into kidnapping. The other forces are the guys who are into Boko Haram. The other forces are the guys who are into some kind of nefarious activities. And those guys are going beyond the call of duty, reach out to the same young people that you should be reaching out to and convincing them to join them. So, and for every new member they're able to recruit, it means less sleep for the rest of us. So, as a matter of fact, God bless you, Azua Arinze, for giving me the opportunity to speak this and for taking soundbite from all of the people who have spoken today, because hopefully this message will go out, and if we're able to convince 10 more young people to see that there is benefit in staying the course and being hardworking and being focused, then I think the dream will have been fulfilled. Second to the last slide, I'll tell you, don't stop. You have to keep on going. I mean, no matter what you do, you can't stop. And you see, the thing with success is that success is not, there's no destination called success. Success is just a journey that keeps continuing. I mean, the richest man in this country, or maybe on the continent today, will get to a place where rich men are gathered, and probably they won't even let him come inside, because there are levels to this thing. So the thing is that the richest man in Africa is still aspiring to get more wealth, and the richest men in the world are also aspiring. And you see what's been happening between the number one and number two spot of the richest man in the world has been going up and down. Like today, somebody can become the number one and the other guy drops to number two. So you see, we can't stop. We must not stop. And by the grace of God, we won't stop. I thank you so much for the opportunity, Mazi Azuarinze, to speak. This is just you see that I've not said anything because I really don't think that I've done anything that's given me the credential to come here and pontificate and tell you this is what you must do. I've just spoken broadly around the subject, and success is subjective. For some people, it's about money. For some people, it's about fame. And for some people, with what we have experienced the whole of last year to now, for some people, it's just about staying alive. Thank God we are all alive. Happy anniversary to Yes Magazine, and happy 10th anniversary as well as your team. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Steve Babaeko, thank you very much. Success is subjective. Success is subjective. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Steve Babaeko, from him. I used to watch him from afar and wonder why he said anything certain way. At least from his, I could see why Steve Babaeko never played free money, because and then I used to wonder what Steve Babaeko likes to drink. Today I now know that it's Johnny Walker, this that he likes, because he said keep walking. I took your point, background, set up this right cash crunch, control, fight the power, speed of cash, riding the wave. It's all in your mind. I must say this, so seeing you from afar, somebody who's just running up and down. And now a lot more young people need to listen to what you have to offer. So I'll need you to send me your details so that if I already join, thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you. He's one of the toughest advertising practitioners in the area.
Kofi, your network is your line is free.
Like as you have always wanted to ask both of them. My network is freezing. Oh, these people have come again.
It's freezing.
These people have come again.
Okay. Can I step in briefly?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Yeah, can you hear me now? Technical check.
Loud and clear.
Okay, so I think we have Uncle Tunji Olugbodi with us, the Executive Vice Chairman, Verdant Bill, one of the top advertising practitioners, very calm, distinguished gentleman, like a daddy to me. Like Azuarinze, he's always smiling. I've always wanted to ask both of you if you have ever been annoyed before in your life. I've never seen either of you get angry, and I still don't understand it. Nothing connects with you before. I don't know. You see, I'm really smiling again. This smile, I'm sure it is this smile that you use to just woo your clients. This same smile. Also, we have Tony Khan, the award-winning writer and PR practitioner. Thank you so much for joining. Of course, Pastor Anselm Madubuko has been introduced earlier. We have Mr. Emeka Okpara from Airtel, the Vice President, Airtel Nigerian Communications Expert. This is one of the foundation brought that I know. Also, one of our very respected writer and columnist, Adedoku is also here with us. Thank you so much for joining us. And I have one very powerful real estate guru, a Rotarian and a lawyer. Rotarian Shola Patuki is here with us. Thank you so much for joining. I have also the founder of PHM and we all know him as the top PR practitioner as well, Mr. Ayeni Adekunle. Thank you so much for being part of this anniversary lecture. We also have my sister, the top female journalist and writer, Victoria Ibanga, also with us. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, there's so much I would love to share, but then I need to hand over to Mr. Duane to take us through the short take by the other speakers for the day. I have to be at another function, which starts in another 20 minutes, and I'm not the type that gets late to the event. So considering Lagos traffic, I need to get there in the next 12, 15 minutes so that I can be on time. Thank you all so much for allowing me to call the first half of it. Please, this is a warning to those who are signing up with their phones without their name. If you sign up with Techno Phantom, as far as I'm concerned, you're trying to show us that you're a big boy. Change your name so that we will know your real name. It's usually iPhone people that do that. Techno Phantom, you are not qualified to do that. Please change your name. Thank you all. God bless you.
Thank you.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All the wonderful people who are still online, thank you very much. I appreciate you. I can see everybody. My friend, my brother, Mr. Makalefion, Mr. Chasmagba. Oh, I can see my auntie Onyeka. I can see my second daddy, Uncle Bisi Olatilo. Reverend Father Chike. I see everybody. I see my boss and my mentor, Mr. Lakunle Sikiru Bakari. I see my younger brother, Chief Azua Matos. I see everybody. I see my worthy brother, Benny Lebunam. I see my worthy brother, James Equere. Uncle Ray Chebiri, Idris Bello. I see everybody. I'll still come to that. Now we are going to take some short takes. I'll be yielding the floor to one or two persons to tell us a little about myself and Yes International Magazine. That's talking about those who were there for us when we started crawling. Now we are walking little by little. So I'd like to yield the floor to a woman I have a humongous respect for. The one that has been deservedly dubbed the elegant stallion. One who sings effortlessly, acts with so much ease, and speaks English language. Sometimes, for me, my own thinking, like the Queen, Lady Onyeka Onwenu, MFR. Let's hear from her, please. Thank you.
Azu Kedu.
At the moment,
I'm so happy to be here because we knew when you started, knew you before then, and I always say that you are the little brother I never had, and that everyone deserves to have a little brother you can knock on the head. That's the reason for having a little brother. I was the last in my family and everyone could knock my head. And then in you came and you became my little brother. And I'm so proud of you. I've only had one opportunity where I really didn't like what you did, but then I was wrong and you were right. But you showed me enough respect to accord the person a second chance. And I'll never forget that because everything you wrote was right, but I wanted you to stop and you did. And that showed me how much respect and deference that you had for me. And you've been very, very special to me. When you started, I saw very quickly when I met you that you were a person with a great sense of purpose, a focus that was unwavering. I mean, if you needed to get something done, you got it done. You were committed, you were hardworking, you didn't take anything for granted, and you had no expectations of people, do this for me or do that for me. You just went out. But once someone met you and got exposed to your passion for what you did, your love for people, your philanthropy, your kindness, your care, your involvement in all that was good that was happening around you, one had to be swept away by a great deal of admiration for you. And that's what I have for you. Your family, of course, your wife, your children, my daughter. Well, now I have two. I can't just say one, you know why. So my daughters, I love you all. And I am so impressed by what you've done. Not only have you made good of this effort of running Yes, you have taken it to another level entirely. You've adjusted to what was happening in the media. Not only that, you've kind of been shining the light for others to follow. You have made me proud. And yes, you're a younger brother, but I've looked at you and I've learned so much from you. I want to thank you, and I want to thank God for allowing me the opportunity of being close to you in such a wonderful way, and your beautiful, beautiful wife and your beautiful family, your mother, your brothers, and you and I even have a junior brother. You know what I'm talking about. Give him a knock on the head for me. That one is from me. And for everyone who's been part of your life, who's been there for you, I want to hug you up and say thank you. Please keep supporting him. Keep encouraging him. This is a young man that Nigeria should be proud of, is proud of. And he's not done yet. God is not done with you yet. You're still going places, and we have a lot to learn from you. I love you very much. I love you with the love of the Lord. I love you specially. And I'll always be there for you, as I know you'll be there for me.
Thanks so much, Auntie. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. I'm grateful. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, when my father died 9 years ago, on my own, I had to choose another father for myself. He has always been there for me, guiding me, advising me, telling me what to do and what not to do. I have never called him without him picking his call. Once the phone rings, he picks up the phone. One of the few Nigerians who speak the three most popular languages, and that's talking about Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba. I call him Uncle B, my second daddy. Prince BC Olatilo, I'm yielding the floor to you to say one or two things, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Hello.
Hello, sir. We can hear you.
Fantastic. Well, I'm happy you have corrected yourself. You first called me your second daddy, but now your father, as you said, I'm really happy for the role you've given me. Let me congratulate you. And Onyeka Onwenu speaks English with the familiarity of the native. I must say, nobody speaks English the way Onyeka does. And it was very refreshing to hear her talk. Thank you very much, Mazi Sam Ohabunwa, for the observations you made very correctly, that we started out with Azu Arinze from the very beginning. And of course, Azu has a very special trait. He has a knack for nourishing friendship. He nurtures it, he keeps it, and he's always enjoying it when the vision calls for it, just like now. And I must congratulate you for having kept Yes International Magazine aloft. I mean, you heard what the chairman said. High mortality rate in the magazine world, and you're still keeping afloat. And the man who did the special, Steve Babaiko, also talked about 5 years being the maximum given to any business, any starting business or startup business. And you have actually overgrown that. You've gone 5 years above that. What does that tell you? It just tells you to keep straight. If you have to, I mean, and Onyeka also said it. She said, you have moved along, shining the stars, shining the light for others to follow. You know that COVID-19 brought a lot of challenges, but you have surpassed the challenges, and I'm hoping that others will also look in that direction. Congratulations. And as the chairman said, we'll be here when you clock 15, we'll be here when you clock 20, and so on and so forth. But don't change your ways. Highly respectful, and you just very warm disposition towards everyone. Congratulations. Congratulate your wife for me. I'd like to thank her for the support she's given you and the children. It's my pleasure, and I'm very proud to be the father that you that you've decided to call me. Thank you very much, Azuarinze. God bless you. Congratulations again.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Uncle B. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I think I made a post on Facebook that I was going to set up shop on my own, and I got a message inbox from one of the most respected and renowned broadcasters that we have in the country. He just said he wouldn't mind writing for Yes International. But you know, those that listened to the brief story of Yes that we shared earlier on, that voiceover was done by this gentleman who is a father figure also to me, an uncle and a boy. He has also always been there for me from the beginning till date. And that's talking about Mr. Femi Sholu, the pioneer MD of Jams FM. Uncle Femi, all right, thank you very much. Uncle, we can't hear you. You need to unmute yourself.
Oh, okay, let's see. Yeah, I should be unmuted right now, shouldn't I?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. Good morning. I'd like to appreciate all the people who have spoken before me this morning. Very kind words. I must congratulate you, Azu, and your very charming wife, and the entire team at Yes. 10 years, boy, time just fly when you're doing a good job. That's what one of those things my father used to tell me many years ago. Yeah, I congratulate you. You definitely deserve it, as all the other speakers prior to now have said. It has not been easy, and we all know how tough it has been. 10 years ago, was that when I made that phone call you were referring to? I remember calling you. I think I was on the set of one of those reality television programs we used to do back then. And we had just announced Yes was launching. And I wanted to try out my skills as a writer. I thought I had writing skills. Of course, I'd been a broadcaster many years prior. So I sent you a couple of articles, and you actually published them in that magazine. I don't know how many I sent over the years. But aside from congratulating you, Azu, I also like to thank you. Thank you for giving me a second career. I recently retired as a broadcasting, as you mentioned. I was pioneer MD of Jams FM in Ibadan. 40, almost 45 years broadcasting. I got tired of that. But because of that opportunity you gave me 10 years ago, Azu, I kept on writing. And proud to tell you, you know, I've already published one novel. I have 4 more in the pipeline. They should be out before September, October. And I'm writing my 6th novel as we speak. So I must thank you for that opportunity yourself, Azu. Yes, I probably made that phone call, but perhaps it was destined to happen. I call myself retired broadcaster, but here I am, brand new writer. If it's a good thing, one of these days you'll get to read some of my books, quite a lot actually. One of them is actually called, I think the column that I had in Yes was called Voices in My Head, if I'm correct.
You're correct, sir.
Yes, it's actually the title of one of those books I've just written.
and that's thanks to you, Azu. 4 other books: a book of poetry. There's a book called Chatterbox, which is just talk topics for radio presenters. There's actually a novel. Yes, I wrote a novel. It's called A Kiss Before We Die. Hopefully someday I intend to turn it into a movie if I can find the cash. And I'm writing my 6th book, which is just my relationship with music generally as a radio presenter. It's called Music and Me. Thank you again, Azu. Thanks to everybody who has contributed to these wonderful 10 years of Yes. Steve Babeko is an old friend too. I remember those MCNA days, Steve, if you're still with us. Those were very learning days for all of us, weren't they? You gave us a parting shot, but I don't just want to fizzle out like that. I think all of us have to imbibe those words that you left us with. You said, success is subjective. You said, for some people, it's about money. You added that for some other people, it is about fame. And then you rounded up with what I think were very important words. For some people, it's just about staying alive, especially with the past year we've had. Yeah, well said, Steve. Azu, you have money. You have the fame. You're alive. Well done, young man. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Uncle. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We'll take one more speaker, then we'll go to the cutting of the anniversary cake, and after that, we'll take the closing prayer and vote of thanks. Of course, I will pronounce myself guilty if I stand there and talk or speak for over an hour without duly acknowledging the man who gave me the opportunity to write for the first time in my life, the man who made me the editor of Encomium, my first employer, and the only man I worked for. I was actually with Encomium and Fame combined for 17 years. 3 years at Encomium, 14 years at Encomium. Out of the 14 years at Encomium, 8 years as the editor of the magazine. And one man granted me that honor, that privilege. He is no other person than Mr. Olakunle Sikiru Bakare, the one we call KB. Mr. Bakare, publisher in Encomium magazine. Mr. KB, you have the floor. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a very great day. Like a lot of the speakers have said, it's unusual for most businesses to survive even the first year. There are statistics that say that out of every 10 businesses started in 1 year, 6 will likely collapse. In 5 years, possibly only 1 will remain. And for years to be here with us in 10 years, that's very great news. Mr. Arinze, whom I usually call Seal, after the great musician Seal, because of his reckless handsomeness and the way he dresses, has shown us that to survive in business, you have to have a lot of qualities, one of which is to be very respectful. Azu is one of the most respectful people I know. He's one of the people that is hungriest. To survive in business, you have to be hungry, very, very hungry, even if you're full. And he has demonstrated that in the last 10 years. One of the things he has also done is to always be ahead of the stakeholders, all the people that invest in his products, all the people that enjoy what he does. He's always ahead of them, so he gives them what they want. Apart from being a journalist, he's an author, like you know. He's done a few books. He's also now doing Instagram interviews, you know. So to be ahead, like I always tell people, you have to plan like 5 years ahead all the time. You know, you must be like a trendologist. The trendologist is someone that is ahead of the trends. You know, he knows, he can forecast what will happen in maybe 2 or 3 years. You know. I'm trying to buttress some of the points Mr. Babeko has emphasized. You know, it takes a lot to survive in business. So you have to plan ahead. You have to be like a trendologist, and you must not have excusitis. You know, a lot of Nigerians are fond of inventing excuses, like we say in Encomium, why they can't do this and that. Every time, I mean, all the times we've been alive, they always say the economy is bad. And in this bad economy, a lot of people are surviving. For a lot of us that are aware of things going around the world, more billionaires were made in the last 1 year of COVID than ever. You know, there are always tough times, but people always survive, you know. And also, we should also listen and talk less. You know, a lot of people, like Dr. Ruben Abati said, have a disease called opiniontitis. You know, they want to express opinions on everything, you know, as if they're experts in all fields. You must listen to a lot of people that have everything. I mean, that have better things to say. We don't listen to understand. We listen just to respond, you know. It's been a very great day. I mean, a lot of the speakers, older colleagues, Uncle Bisi Olatilo, Mr. Femi Showolu, Mazi Sam Ohabua, a lot of older people have always pointed us out the right ways, I mean, to follow it for us. And I think a lot of these things that Mr. Arinze does, I mean, gathering people together every year, I mean, introducing topics that can advance the cause of people and mankind is a very great thing. He's a young man I'm very proud of. No matter where I am, no matter what I'm doing, anytime he's doing something, it's always a pleasure to join in. And I thank all the people that have always supported him in all these years. I pray that all of us will be together for a long time. And like Mr. Wabeko says, it's better for us to work on Nigeria, you know, to make it a very good country. It's very, very difficult if we want to go our separate ways and we don't sit down. You know, if we don't sit down to negotiate how we want to go our separate ways, and we think war is the answer, a lot of us will be casualties. You know, if there's any disaster in Nigeria, we'll overrun West Africa and possibly Africa, and it will be a very, very unpalatable thing. So it's better for the leaders to also listen to a lot of the things people are saying. A lot of people that are clamoring for nations within Nigeria is because they feel that they're being cheated. Nobody's listening to them. Let us listen to one another and make this country a very great nation. Thank you very much. Azu Arinze, I wish you many more years, many more decades.
Thank you very much, sir.
And like many of the speakers have said, don't change your ways. There are formulas for success. I mean, all of us have been exposed to a lot of books that highlight formula for success. Let us follow them one after the other and join successful people. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much.
Very, very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We are going to do the cutting of the cake. All right. We'll take a 1 or 2 minute video, then we come to cutting of the cake, then we take the vote of thanks. Please, thank you very much. Thank you. All the wonderful people online, I can see you. James Ekwerere, Chebiri, Alaja Montai, my G, Makelefiong, Uncle Bisi, my younger brother Chifa, Azwa Matus, Uncle, my friend and my brother, Mr. Steve Babeko. I see everybody, Idris Bello, Peju Akonde, Tony Khan, Abelinis. I see everybody. I'm grateful. Uncle Femi Showolu. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll just take the cutting of the cake, then we'll start immediately. All right. We are wrapping things up. I'd like to call on the woman that rocks my world, the woman that means the world to me. You know, I remember when I was asking her out, the first thing I said to her was, will you be my angel? And she said that if you promise to be my archangel, 15 years down the line, the angel and the archangel are still together. So it's on that premise that I'd like to invite my ever delectable, fashionable, industrious, wonderful, supportive, adorable. In fact, I like words to describe her, my wife, so that we can cut the anniversary cake together. Unfortunately, because of COVID, most of our workers are not here, but I think I have two of my staffers here, Gideon Ajayi, Tokumbo Ibikunle. Okay, Tokumbo, you take this shot first, then you come and join us. Tokumbo is actually our oldest staff. He has been with us for 10 years. Tokumbo Ibikunle, you hear from us. Gideon and Tokumbo. Tokumbo, please come and take this shot. Then after that, yes. Mr. Uwemumo, wait, let Tokumbo take me and my wife. Are you my wife? You bachelor like you were never married. Tokumbo, please fast. Okay. Tokumbo, please fast. Come and take this photograph, then you join us. Yes. Tokumbo, fast. All right. Let's we have three of our people. Tokumbo, I don't know how you're going to do it. You need to join us. Gideon, Mr. Moore. I saw Mr. Moore here. Where's Mr. Moore? Please come. You people have been part of the dream for a very, very long time. If he's not around, Gideon, come. If he's not around, I believe Abiodo Shinibosi has been with us every step of the way. Abe, if you're there, please come join us for this photograph. Please. Abe has been hosting all our events since we started. Old school, I see you. Mike Dada, I see you. Thank you. Thank you. Where's Abe? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, I want to give the vote of thanks. You know, our chairman, God bless you, sir, Mazi Samuel Abunwa, he's been a father to me. I have never called on him without him responding. Thank you so much, sir. God bless you, sir. God bless you, sir. To our guest speaker, Mr. Steve Babeko, he calls me Mazi and I call him bro. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That was a powerful, awesome presentation. Thank you. Our guest of honor, Barrister Festus Keyamo. We've come a long way. Thank you. Thank you. I'm very, very grateful. Very, very grateful. Uncle Bisi Olatilo, Antonio Kowenu, Uncle Femi Showolu, my boss and my mentor, Mr. Olakunle Sikuru Bakari. You know, like we say, once a boss, always a boss. All my friends, my brother from another mother, you know, Michael Effiong, my younger brother as well, Matus, I saw him here. Everybody, Elijah Monta, all the people who have been there for us, for me, and for years, right from inception, we are grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't want to take too much time, you know, recognizing everybody. All right. Those who are still online, please put on your video so that we can see your beautiful and wonderful faces. Thank you. I appreciate everybody. I'll be calling on Reverend Father Chikere Agbo for the closing prayer. Thank you. All the people who joined us, both those who are still online and those who have left, I appreciate everybody. I'm grateful. Thank you. My joy actually knows no bounds. Thank you. All right. Father Chikere Agbo SJ is here for the closing prayer. Thank you. Father, you have the floor.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Again, congratulations. Really thank you for, and excuse me. All right, so we pray. Heavenly Father, we have come to the end of our time together here as friends of Azu and a supporter of his project, his magazine, the Yes International. We thank you for all the speakers and for what we have accomplished here today. May all we have learned, all the lectures serve as a catalyst to move Azu Arinze, the Yes International, and all of us who gathered here today forward, and cause us to advance and see growth in all areas of our lives. As we depart here, we commit the Yes International into your hands, O God. Commit Azu Arinze, his staff, and all his friends into your hands, and pray and hope that since this magazine was started in your name, O Lord, that it will grow, that someday we will be able to celebrate Azu Arinze as our own Rupert Murdoch, not only in Nigeria, in Africa, but across the world. We make all these prayers through Christ our Lord. Amen. Thank you, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Amen. Amen. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Okechukwu Ogunjofor, the man who gave me the money to buy my first sound system. I see you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. You've been there for me. I used to come to your house to eat correct okra soup as a bachelor. I would time the food. I had no wife. I had no child. I was living in one bedroom then. But I used to time myself very, very well. I will get there as the wife is bringing down the pot of soup and the bar. Of course, he'll ask me to make myself comfortable and he will take care of me. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Tolani Adeleka Bati. Thank you. Idris Bello. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody. Mike Dada. Thank you. Ajay Gideon. Tokumbi Bikunle. Everybody. Femi, I see you. Thank you. Thank you. Abelinis. Long live Abelinis. Thank you. Thank you. I'm grateful. Thank you. Thank you. Old school. Everybody, I see all of you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Pastor Sheif Asuba, thank you very much. You came and you were here all through. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Thank you. I can't thank all of you enough. I can't appreciate you enough. Thank you. Thank you. I'm grateful. On behalf of myself, my family, the management, the staff, and board of Yes International Magazine, we say a very big thank you. Thank you. Thank you. God bless all of you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's do it again next year. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's what, but I see you. Thank you. Thank you. Larry Onisa, thank you. I see everybody. Thank you. Thank you. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Check this out. 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 Bemjo Lad, I see you. Jeffrey Gebruno, my man, I see you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I see everybody. Thank you. I'm grateful. Thank you. Thank you. Zion Rufus, I see you. Maureen Chibu, I see you. Olakunle Yusuf, I see you. Nira Dedoko, I see you. I see everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Father Chike Agbo, I see you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Idris Bello, I see you. Thank you. Thank you. I can see you nodding your head to the music. Thank you. Thank you. Pastor Sheif Asuba, I see you. Thank you very much, sir. I'm grateful, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Pastor, Father Isdor Splendor, thank you. Father, thank you. Father Isdor, thank you. Thank you. I'm grateful. Thank you.
I wanna put my arms around you.